So if you are an investor in this project, then our pro forma insurers will pay that back within 5 years at a small interest rate, but you'll keep your equity in the company. Whether it's 1%, 2%, 3%, and that equity will also belong to the intellectual property rights. So anything we do up there or spin off, you're part of that deal too. And of course, we'd love to see that. We'd love to see Disney come down and tell us they like our little dinosaurs. That would be really good. And so that's the one thing that's a little unique here. We're not just looking for people who want to receive dividends. We're looking for people who want to get their money back and receive dividends on that. By the third year, our ticket sales up. And again, this picture is extrapolated based a lot on the promised sales and what they did. And Bob, you were probably involved in there. Some of the advertising was slightly limited at that time, but we still saw a really good growth. We think we'll do much better with that here.
What is your ticket price?
Our average ticket price is $19.50.
Are you using the same ticket price for these 5 years?
No, the ticket price goes up by $3 in the third season because of that. But $19.5, then it goes up to actually $22 even, so it goes up by $2.50 at that time. We also see some money in there for concessions. We will the current food and beverage contract is up in the amphitheater, and we'll probably talk to the county about maybe renegotiating that contract, and that's taking over some of the cost up there, and at the same time receiving some of the revenue from the food and beverage, which could be substantial with a lot of kids coming in here. Our gift shop money is up, of course. In that year, we break into profit. You can see a little of our general operating is back up. At the bottom it says cost of sales. In the season 2 is about $390,000, and the cost goes up a little bit in season 3. The difference in general operating, the next stage down there, is substantially increased, and that's for some sets and props that we hope to have in the third year when we switch over and do a little different production. So we consider that. We have net income that year, and we start paying back principal and interest a little more, pay back $45,000, and we still have a nice bottom line. On season 4, again, the tickets go up. Everything goes up just based on what the line should be, although it's not going up as drastic in season 4 and 5 as it has earlier, because there's a level. We don't know when we'll reach the apex of that, but we know at some point it'll start just going like this. And but at that point, we feel we'll have a real good feel for everything else. And we think we'll start selling some things online a little more than we have. Our costs are basically static in the bottom. There are some rises. We pay a slight increase to our character actors, and we have a cast bonus if we reach certain limits, and we put a little money in there for that, although we didn't in the first year. Every year after that, for incentive, people stay with us. If you come to Glen Rose, whether you are out of Fort Worth or whether you're out of Walnut, and you stay with us, there's an opportunity that if we do well, you can share with that. And you see the bottom line, the right corner at the end of season 5, we think we'll be sitting with about what we started with our investment, $236,700. At that point, we'll call the stockholders in, and we'll decide what we want to do differently. But we think it's a really solid business plan. Move one more over there. And I had looked at some taxes, and Daryl, Beth and I talked about this a little bit, and I started running some numbers and asked one of my guys to help me with these. If you look at the taxes in year 1 at the theater, sales tax is what I'm talking about, it's $6,300 based on the ticket sales, also the food and beverage sales. We paid sales tax on that, etc. And in town, the retail from the people who come to town, assuming that 45% of the people who come to this production are going to be overnighters, 45% will be day trippers, and 10% will be what we call local. You know, there aren't a lot of us here, but some of us will go and shop and eat and do some things we wouldn't do if it weren't for the play. That sales for these tax is $35.85. For total sales tax in the first year of $17.9, just short of $18,000 that would go back through the city and use for our benefit. The hotel tax would be up around $17,640. And over the life of the first 5 years, which is our, that's as far as we can see out there with this new production, we see $138,000 in total sales tax, which will be brought into the city, and $158,000 roughly in hotel tax, the money that comes back to the city that the state doesn't keep. We're just short of $300,000 in tax money that will come through back to the city that will help us operate and do more promotion for other things that we have. And again, those are pretty conservative numbers. If we do well, if we do as well as promised did, then there'll be more there and we can start paying some things back a little earlier. But I appreciate you. Just leave it right there if you want to. You're letting us come and talk to you, and if there's any more information you want, Connie, or anything, we'll be glad to throw that together as quickly as we can get that for you.
I'll now open it up to the floor. If anybody has questions or comments, again, I'd ask you to come to the podium and state your name. Any comments? Karen, yes, please.
Karen Richardson, I just had a question as to the ticket prices, like for children or Somerville County. I mean, $19 adult, or?
Well, that's an average all around. The children will be much less, somewhere
Yeah.
around $12 to $14, and adults will be at $24 to $26.
Okay, that's just.
I will say this just from my own personal experience, that on Ladies Night Out nights that the Promise was operating, my wife had a lot of people who were going to the Promise, who would come downtown, who would shop, spend money downtown. You know, and at 7 o'clock they were, all right, we got to go. We're heading to the theater. But before they went to the Promise, they came downtown. They shopped downtown. They spent money at the restaurants. They spent money other places. And so I don't, you know, and again, that's just my personal experience. So. Please, come up.
Audrey Taylor, and you might have said this, maybe I wasn't listening. And what time of the year will y'all, would this be going on, like at the Palaces at one time? What, I mean, the Promises one time, what?
This is a summertime production, and we'll start the Thursday of Memorial Day, which is the 28th this year of May, and we'll do 4 nights a week through the middle of August. That's 51 performances.
Yeah, I have one question. Y'all are asking for $80,000 out of, what is your total capitalization?
$250,000.
$250,000, okay. I think this is a great idea. To me, this is something that takes a facility that's already here and that's being underutilized, and it brings people into the community. It's economic development here in Central, and it doesn't cost the city or the Economic Development Corporation very much, and it adds to, you know, it kind of fits in with everything else that's going on in the community, the Dinosaur State Park and everything else. And I think it's a great idea.